Hello again, friends. Cassie Kitzmiller back with you for today's episode of Christian Women Business Builders podcast. So today we are going to be picking up on the second part of our Revive in 25 refresh that we are doing behind the scenes in CWBB. And if you haven't listened to the first part, you don't have to. Today's episode can stand alone, but I would recommend going and listening to the last episode as we kind of set the groundwork for three things that we are doing as a company to really prepare ourselves and to step into the new season that the Lord has for us, a new season of growth, a new season of impact, and really just focusing in on the work the Lord has for us. So that was the last episode. Today's episode is picking up on the third part of that. And that is really stepping into getting just laser focused on measurable metrics. We call these growth markers inside of the Grow Collective and inside of our coaching communities, because the thing with a growth marker is that we are measuring it for consistent growth. And it doesn't mean anything shameful or terrible or like we failed if we don't see growth, but it does give us important information to go and look at the cause of why this isn't growing any longer. So just like if you had a plant that was growing consistently and it stops growing and you know it still has a lot of potential left, we need to go and look at the soil, the water, the conditions. Is it getting enough nutrients so that we can address it and allow the plant to continue to thrive? Our businesses are very similar in that when we see something that is supposed to be growing, and it ceases to increase, we need to go and look at, is it our messaging? Is it our marketing? Is it the offer? What is it that we need to adjust to allow this to continue to grow? Now, the metrics that we're going to be talking about today are specific to our business, to CWBB, but they can be applied and really refined for you and your own business as well. So I want you to listen in and I want you to be thinking about, am I being intentional in my own business about really keeping an eye on some growth metrics? Now, I recommend having three areas of focus. You may have just one key number, or you may have multiple numbers in different departments. We have different metrics for each area of our business, more specific metrics, but overall, these are the three that let us know if our business is continuing to grow. So the first one of those is what I would call a prospecting number. This number for us comes from a couple of areas, but this is new eyeballs on our business over a set period of time. So for us, I like to watch it weekly. Daily, it varies so much that it can be a little hard to watch it daily, but week to week, we can see, are we getting consistent podcast listeners that are growing? Is our blog traffic increasing? And are new people requesting to join our Facebook group? If that's happening, then we know we're getting in front of new prospects. We're continuing to be relevant. New eyeballs are seeing us and clicking and being interested in our stuff. Now, for you, this may look like a lead magnet. Are we getting downloads on our lead magnet? This may look like website traffic. This can look like a lot of different variables. YouTube views. It's pretty much, though, any number that lets you know that you're getting in front of new traffic. So this is not engagement from existing traffic. So this wouldn't be engagement inside a Facebook group, right? Those people have already found you. They already know you exist. These are new people we're getting in front of. And we call these prospects because we don't really know them yet, right? They're just kind of like checking us out. They're like, who is this? What is this business about? This could be, new views on TikTok. This could be Instagram followers, new numbers. Now we have ours that we track, but I highly recommend that you have a set of metrics, growth metrics that you track for new people seeing your business. Because what happens is if we're not getting in front of new eyeballs, then even if we're doing everything right, we may see sales and our efforts slump just because we're talking to the same people over and over again. All right, so that first number is prospects. It's a growth metric for measuring our new prospects. Now, the second one, this is where we're starting to measure engagement and interaction. So for our business, engagement and interaction looks like a couple of things: registering for one of our free trainings or master classes, attending one of our events, one of our community events, or requesting to join our private community. Now, for us, this is not requesting to join a Facebook group. Some people, that may be this number for you because they're requesting to join a group. For us, Facebook group is still a prospect. It is not somebody who's actually like really invested yet. I joined a ton of Facebook groups and then never really engage, right? So what we're looking here is people who have actually taken some kind of an action on their part, given you attention, and really shown that they're interested in what it is you're doing. So this is for us when we start to monitor lead magnet downloads, classes attended, conversations that we've had, off of the screen, off of just the Facebook feed or off of the scroll. And we're really starting to say, are people connecting with what we're doing? This metric is so, so important because you can have a lot of engagement, but no action. And I see this a lot in groups that are really just kind of like connection oriented, but not really focusing on helping people solve a problem. So you can have a ton of people active in your group, but then not be getting any sales down the line. And you're like, what's going on? This is the growth metric for you. You need to see, are these people, these new people, these existing audience, the people that I'm speaking to, are they taking an action? So for us, this looks like email clicks. This looks like registrations for the events we do. And it also looks like downloads off of some of our resources. So those are very clear, measurable numbers. And if we're not seeing growth in those areas, we need to go back to the drawing board and say, do we need to refresh the marketing around this? Do we need to focus on something new right now? Has this kind of ran its course and we need to introduce something to get people's attention again? What's happening in the world that we need to be relevant about? This is that metric that allows you to really show up and serve your people. And it's giving you feedback to whether what you're offering is what they need. So this is really a service metric. If the first one, I would say that it's kind of an attention metric, like, did I get their attention? Are they checking us out? This one would be a service metric. Are they allowing us to come in and serve them in some way with an event, with a download, with booking a free call, whatever it is in your business? All right. Now, the third one is your decision metric. So this is the metric where we actually see your prospects, your leads. So it'd kind of be like prospect, lead, customer, right? Where you see your people make a decision to work with you or not. Now, I want to be clear that not working with you is also a measurable decision. And it's not necessarily a bad one. This is really important for us to wrap our heads around as business owners. Just because somebody says no to working with you doesn't mean you've messed up somewhere. It can actually mean you're doing the right thing because you're helping people qualify themselves to whether or not you're the right fit. It may feel like a disappointment, or it may feel like kind of a bit of a failure when people say, not right now, no thank you. But what they're actually saying is, this is not the right fit for me right now. And a lot of times that's a good thing. If they're not ready to take action, if they're not ready to invest in themselves, if they're not ready to step up and do what you're helping them with, then it's really a benefit for you to not have to try to drag them along, convince them to come and partake, or to try to get them to show up when they just don't have the capacity. Even spending money that they say, a lot of people are like, oh, I just don't have the money right now. That's a totally valid excuse sometimes, right? I don't want a customer in my program that's desperate and looking to me to be the one that's going to save their financial future if they're truly in a place of desperation. That's not how I want people to show up. I want them to be ready to serve from overflow. And it sounds to me like that client, that potential lead, needs to have some work done before they're ready for that part. They need the Lord to minister them where they are right now, instead of focusing on growing something in this season, right? They need nourishment for today. not be focused on tomorrow. So make sure that you're measuring your yeses and your nos. Those are both decisions made. So what we're looking for in this metric here is just that, an actual opportunity for somebody to make a decision to work with you. Now, this metric can be a little harder to measure if you do mostly hands-off sales, meaning like you just have a sales page, or you have, kind of like a silent sales system where you're not communicating with people one-on-one. If this is the case, you can still measure this, but you have to take it with a grain of salt, because website views or checkout page views and actual conversions don't always equate to be actual people making a decision. Sometimes people just click on it to read. Sometimes people click on it just to see what you're doing. So not every checkout page is an actual potential yes or no, but that still gives you measurable data. So if you have 200 checkout pages and you have 20 yeses, then 10% of those people said yes to working with you. Does that mean all 90% said no? Technically, yes, but it could also mean that out of those, out of that 90%, probably 30 or 40% of those were actual prospects. So what does this data give you? This data gives you the ability to look and see, are you really connecting with the needs of your people? Are you speaking the language that lets them know that you have a solution for them? Are you making it simple? Are you making it easy for them to say yes? Are you answering their questions? Are you calming their fears? Objections are just unsettled fears. If you have an objection against something, or your client has an objection against something, all they're saying is, I'm uncertain this is going to work for me. I'm unsure about this piece. I'm a little bit scared about this. I'm scared about making that investment, that step. I need more, either I need more information, I need more kind of speaking to my wants, needs, and desires, or maybe I do need to connect. So even if you have a third page sales process where you don't connect one-on-one, having the opportunity to reach out to you directly is so beneficial, because it can keep that conversation going. All right, so the third metric is measuring your sales decisions, whether they want to work with you or not. Now, this number should be small compared to your prospects, right? You should have lots of prospects, hopefully a lot of leads. And then the people who are actually making a sales decision, this is where you're starting to say, okay, are we going to work together in this season? This is where dollars are exchanged. This is where your business actually becomes a relationship of service, and there's an agreement made. So you can see this is a huge step. And for us, this looks like actual signups for our paid communities. Right now, we're focusing on, I have just very few one-on-one spots. I think I have only one available right now, but I don't do a lot of one-on-one. So for me personally, it's not a decision to work with me one-on-one. It's a decision for my client, for potential clients, to come into a community where we show up and serve and support and teach and minister and guide you towards creating a sustainable business. So that metric is really important to measure, because I could be doing everything on the front end, but if nobody's saying yes to join that community, then I don't have a business of service. I just have a marketing agency that's not, turning into dollars. So I want you to think about this. Is all of my front end work actually turning into paid clients? That is the decision metric that we want to make sure to measure. And remember, we talked about it. Yeses and nos. You want to track the nos as well, not to make yourself feel bad, but just to be able to see, are people able to discern whether this is right for them in this season? And if I'm getting a whole lot of no's, I probably need to go back and make sure I'm answering more of those fears, calming more of those fears, answering more of their questions, really explaining the value of working together. All right, these are the metrics that we are going to be tracking moving forward into this season. And we're going to be getting really laser focused on them, because it's important for us as a business to be able to see whether the work we're doing is making a difference. These are your impact numbers. So create your own set. Remember, we have 3. You can have more, you can have less. And then even in each of these, we're going to have individual numbers we track. But overall, those are the 3 that we are going to be focusing on to keep us moving forward in the rest of 2025 and beyond. All right. If this blessed you, if this helped you, go ahead and leave us a review. Let us know so that more people can discover this podcast and be blessed to be able to go and be a blessing. All right. I hope to see you inside of one of our events, upcoming events, free Facebook group, or inside our Grow Coaching community. Many blessings on you, and I look forward to seeing you and chatting with you next time.